Hey, good evening. Welcome to Alice TV. This is the Inside Out Virtual Tour with Alice, Chapter 2. And I'm Mark Sugiyama from Eclectic Arts. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, here we are again. This is the second leg of the tour, and I'm so honored that Alice has included me to continue doing interviews with a wide variety of guests. And obviously, I get to also, as a fan, get to listen to them play all their wonderful live sets. And we've got some returning DJs and bands that I got to learn about on the first leg. And so that some of them are coming back. I know there's some new ones. And so it's just going to be a really good time. So again, thank you for joining us. And it's just going to be a good time. So I hope that everybody out there is as safe as can be. I know it's, I was just talking with my guest pre-show that I remember that they were talking about back in late winter, early spring, that maybe things would be somewhat normal in June. And obviously, we're almost to August now, and cases are still on the rise. And here in Washington State, they're talking about we have an indefinite hold or freeze on any counties trying to move to another phase. So everyone's basically in a holding pattern right now until things kind of even themselves out or start to flatten that curve. So yeah, unfortunately, it's a marathon or several marathons that we have coming up, and we just have to kind of take it one moment at a time and do the best that we can. And I know that's what everyone's going to be doing. That's just kind of part of the deal. So I am so happy to be conducting these interviews. And some of them are going to be things that you've seen before in terms of how I do them, or you may have noticed the background change or some photography change and that kind of stuff. But I do have a couple concepts that are going to be tested out during this time. And I haven't even talked with the band about that yet. Maybe I should, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be some guests that people have seen before from previous interviews, and we're going to be kind of talking about some different things just to kind of liven it up and change things up a bit. So here we go. Show number one. My guest this evening is a creative force in the arts world with an extensive background in opera, theater, musical theater, and journalism. She has entertained thousands of patrons around the globe. Her role as Christine Daae in The Phantom of the Opera was recognized as one of the best interpretations of the character. Please welcome to the Eclectic Arts Virtual Studio, Emma Grimsley. Emma.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay, hanging in there.
It's the best that you can do, I think, for any of us. It's like it's almost like you have to put an asterisk about like how you're doing.
yeah. I've noticed whenever I talk to friends, there's that like 20 minutes at the beginning of the conversation that's just, what is going on? Like we just have to do that every time. There's no avoiding it. It's just too crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like we were talking pre-show, it's we're kind of in this for the long haul, it looks like, unfortunately. And we just kind of do what we do. And that actually kind of brings me to what I want to talk about first with you, since we only have about 27 minutes. I want to talk about your 40-minute musical. We're going to get to that in a little bit, so kind of put that over into the corner. But you were telling me, like, when you were on the tour with Phantom of the Opera, that it had finished, and then like that timeline was going right into the pandemic. So you kind of let the folks out there know what that whole thing looked like.
Yeah, we were, on the road. The national tour of the Phantom of the Opera was on the road starting in 2013, this new production that we were doing. And we took it all the way through February 2nd of 2020. That was our closing date. So we'd been counting down to that time, all of us starting to wonder, what shows are we going to be in next? Like, will we all see each other back in New York? Like, what's it going to be like to be off of the road? And I got an apartment in New York. I got all my stuff moved in. It took about a month to get everything settled. And then I think I moved in March 7th of 2020. And then March 12th was the day that Broadway went dark. So I had about 5 days in the city before we went basically on lockdown from then on out. And my boyfriend and I spent about 100 days in our 1-bedroom apartment, sort of without the possibility of leaving, just because the streets are crowded and parks are crowded. And it was just, we'd go to the grocery store and then we'd come home just to limit our exposure to other people in case we were infected, in case they were infected, the whole thing. But anyway, then came down to New Orleans where my parents live. My parents, they're in the at-risk bracket. They're in their mid-60s. And they didn't want to stop for the night anywhere on a road trip because it was just a little scary. So they rented an RV and they drove it all the way to Manhattan and picked us up and drove back down. And so we had a little road trip, and now we're settled down here in the swamp in New Orleans in the South.
Wow. You do what you have to do.
Yeah.
I understand that because like my both of my folks are still with us and they're in their 70s. So um, when I see them, actually I just saw them the other day because of some car issues, but it's you see them from a distance.
Right. Yeah. That was the only way we could think of doing it. We quarantined for 2 weeks. We got tested. Like, we made sure that we were healthy enough to sort of join them in the RV. And so we just kind of merged our two quarantined households and took it back down south. It was
Well, and like you were saying too, pre-show that things down there are kind of like everywhere else in the U.S. that the cases are just going through the roof.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it opened up fairly early down here, so the wave of cases has just been rolling and rolling. And I think New Orleans might be doing better than the state of Louisiana on the whole, but I know it's still not great.
Yeah, it's that unfortunate news. And
And this is that thing, that 20 minutes at the beginning of every conversation where it's just like, are you okay? How's it going for you? Like, you just can't help but talk about it.
yeah, I was just I got a text from somebody that I haven't talked to in a while, and the whole thing was about like, yeah, how have you been the last few months? What's going on with your job? What's going on with your family? Yeah, all that kind of thing, and people just want to know, are you safe? Are you healthy? And if that's there, then that's the foundation at least. So then they can be thankful for that.
Right.
And so let's kind of, for a lot of people, they know you from Phantom of the Opera, obviously, and I met you and I met your really good friend Eva on the press junket. That was almost exactly 2 years ago. It was early
It was
August.
beginning of August, wasn't it? I
Yeah,
think.
that's crazy
I
to think
know.
about.
I feel like it's been that long,
Yeah, it
but
feels like it was like 10 years ago or something. Um, but what I want to ask you is that can you kind of give people out there the timeline of when you joined the tour, and then because you came on and you're doing different roles on it, and then you're the alternate for Christine, and then you became the principal for Christine. So you've got a really interesting point of view, and I remember kind of chatting with you about that in the 1 minute they gave me or something during that press junket. But can you kind of speak to that whole timeline of your experience, being on from the beginning to the end of Phantom?
totally, yeah. I actually started auditioning for Phantom 2 years before I ever booked it. I was in Seattle doing a gig with a small opera company there called Vespertine Opera. It was actually, they were working with a company called Pacific Music Works at the time. I was
Oh,
doing Magic Flute with them back in like 2015, I think. And I got my first audition and I flew to New York. I took some days off from rehearsal, flew to New York, ended up moving to New York and subsequently like auditioning for Phantom 6 different times over 2 years. And every time it was no, until that last time when it was yes. And that was in August, almost 3 years ago, of 2017. And so I joined the tour. It was already in progress. They'd been doing shows for years at that point, and I was coming in replacing a woman who is another dear friend of mine. The sort of Christine crew rolls really tight. My friend Kate Davis, she was leaving the tour, and I came in to replace her as a Christine alternate. So the tour did 8 shows a week, and Christine luckily only has to do 6 of those 8 shows. So there are 2 shows every week where another performer will step in and do Christine so that she can rest, because that role is just, it's like, it's relentless. You're on stage the entire show, you're running around in 40-pound dresses and singing your face off. And so she gets to rest. So those 2 shows, I was the alternate Christine. I would go on whenever Eva, my friend who's done these interviews before and who we met the same day in Seattle doing that press junket. She was the principal Christine. So whenever she took shows off, I would play Christine. And whenever she was in the show, I was in the ensemble. I was in the female chorus. And I did that from August of 2017 through July of 2019. So about 2 years. And then Eva left the show around this time last year. And I moved up into her track. We call them tracks. Like, you're sort of your role in the show, but it also includes all your backstage traffic. And, you know, like if you were to pick someone up and plug them into it, that you'd be plugging them into a track. So I would go into her track for the next, I think it was about 8 months until February. And it was wild. It was crazy going from being an alternate. It was two completely different types of excitement, but also of pressure. You know, it was like, it's very different wondering, okay, when am I going to go on this week? And then going out there and being like, oh, I get to do it. And when you're the principal, Christine, it's still exciting to get to do it, but you have to be ready to do it again the very next day and the day after that and the day after that. So it was one of the most remarkable times in my life, getting to do that, getting to do things like press more often, getting to, you know, share the show with more people from that perspective. That was really, really cool. And so that was my journey. So I spent time as her understudy, alternate. There are sort of different ways to put it. And then took over as principal Christine and closed out the tour. And we had a big party in Toronto. That was our last city. And then that was it. And we were all looking forward to hanging out in New York. And sadly, did not come to pass.
Yeah, no, it's I was going to ask you, what was it like for the very first time as an alternate when you got to play Christine, that very first performance? What was that like?
It was an unbelievable day. I was nervous. So luckily you get a good amount of rehearsal time if they're putting you into like one of those big roles. So I had a month of rehearsals. I was just I wasn't in the show yet, but I would spend my days at the theater where the show was performing with the stage manager and director, sort of going through my blocking, learning the show, learning everything, you know, talking about the sort of craft part of it, of like, who is this person? How do you play her? You know, figuring out the acting portion of it, working on the music with the musical director, and then also the very real logistics of like, how do I get down this vanishing staircase that I have to walk on, and, you know, how to avoid the pyrotechnics and how to, you know, stay safe on the set, things like that. So I spent about a month doing that. We had a week off, and then I joined the ensemble. And about a week into that process, I had my first performance. And just because of a schedule shift, Eva took both of her shows off that week on the same day. So we had a 2-show day. It was a Saturday and we were in Boston. And I found out, I knew I was going on for the matinee. And then I found out sort of late in the game that I was going on for the evening show too. So the first time I ever did it, I had to do it twice in a row, just like bang, bang. And it went sort of like shockingly well, I think. I don't remember a ton about it. I remember though that I wasn't so nervous that I couldn't enjoy it. I remember really enjoying it because I've been performing my whole life. My parents are performers. I grew up in shows with them, and, you know, have been doing shows ever since, really. And to do something on that scale, sort of, you know, with that budget, with like this, just like the stage magic of that production is kind of unthinkable. And to be part of a really welcoming cast, it was a really, really special show. The one the one slip up I remember was, we don't get to rehearse a lot with the actual principals that are in the show. So if you're rehearsing, they'll like pull an understudy out of the show to sort of give you a stage partner. So my first show was my first show performing with Jordan Craig, who played Raoul, one of Christine's love interests. And there's this big passionate kiss at the end of Act 1. And I'd never done it with him. And so I really went for it because that's what I'd been told to do. And I think he's used to doing it with other people. He had we just sort of brought two very different levels of energy to it. And we bonked teeth really, really hard. And I was mortified. And also I cut my lip. It was just a very strange thing to have to deal with in the middle of the most high pressure moment of my life. But I remember it fondly because it was just so silly. I was like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "I think so." As soon as we got off stage. But yeah, that was the worst. I think that was the worst thing that happened. Was that? That was the most embarrassing moment of my first
Well, and now you get to tell that story, and you can laugh about it now. So,
show. Right? Yeah, distance from it definitely helps.
well, and since we're on that kind of subject, during your tenure, either as the alternate or as the principal of Christine, did you have any other kind of things that, off the top of your head, that you had a mishap or something else that makes you laugh now, or something which is kind of crazy that happened on any given? Because you were there for a long period of time.
Yeah, there's a big on-stage costume change that happens for Christine right at the beginning of the show, and it's in the middle of like the hardest song that you have to sing. So you sing a couple phrases of this song, and then you run up stage, and there's like parts of your costume that tear away, and this big, huge skirt comes around you and fastens in like 5 different places so that it doesn't come off. But it has to happen in about 15 seconds. It's like a really fast change. Um, and it was during my tenure as principal Christine that the skirt came off. Like it came all the way off in front of everyone. I mean, luckily the costume I was wearing underneath was still there. So I wasn't like totally exposed, but it didn't look like it was supposed to look. And I know the audience could tell because suddenly this giant skirt had just like fallen to the ground. I had to like step over it to keep singing the song. And there's a piece of the costume that tears away that leaves a bunch of Velcro patches exposed. And I tore that piece off to do the change, and then the skirt fell off. So the audience could see the Velcro patches. And there's this moment in that song where 2 ballerinas walk up to Christine. And I was so like adrenaline drunk, I guess, from the nerves of losing the skirt in the middle of the song that I didn't notice that one of the ballerinas we're all in matching costumes. So she had a similar piece. She put it over my Velcro patches so that nobody could see it. And then I didn't know I didn't know where it came from later in the show. I looked down, I was like, where did this part, I know I took this off. How did this reappear on my body? It was just like one of the silliest and most confusing things that could have happened. But I think skirts falling down, that happened a couple times. We've had to, hold the show right in the middle for illness or for like set mishaps, and those were always kind of crazy and exciting. But I think that's up there. Luckily, I don't know how I managed it, got away without any major lyrical flubs. I didn't forget words or change words or do anything silly like that. I have no idea how I made it out alive that way.
Wow, that's really no, thank you for sharing that about the skirt and not knowing how the rest of the other piece came on from your co-stars and that kind of thing. Trying to
It was very
basically,
sweet of her. She knew, like, I'm so glad she took care of me. I just had no idea how it happened.
yeah, and I think that's something that for people that go to theater or musical theater on a regular basis, it's live, but they don't really look at it that way. It's almost like they're watching a movie. I've kind of noticed in terms of reviewing these and being around other critics and other just fans that they're expecting it to be kind of pristine. And so if something small happens, a lot of times they're kind of like, "What happened there? Like, is that supposed to happen?" Instead of just kind of rolling with it. So that's good that you didn't have too many things that
I
people
know.
didn't pick up
Really,
on. So I want to kind of come back to what we started off with, because as I was kind of looking through some of the things that you've done earlier in your career during fandom, but also most recently was this 40 minutes musical that I didn't even know that you were doing. And so can you speak to that, what that is, so people out there can check it out on YouTube and all that?
yeah, totally. So that was actually my friend who I mentioned, Kate Davis, that I replaced when I joined the tour. She ended up coming back to the tour while I was on it. We got to tour together for a little while. And we were having a Zoom. This was like March 27th, like right after everything with coronavirus started. We were having a phantom cast Zoom for Kate's birthday. And we said it was really sort of emotional because we'd all spent every day together for the last however many years we'd all been on the tour. And so seeing each other was nice, but also knowing that we didn't know when we'd actually get to see each other again, it was tough. And Kate is a brilliant songwriter, just like a really, first of all, like incredibly talented vocalist. She can sing anything. She can sing Christine, which is sort of in the more operatic realm of stuff. She can sing super belty musical theater. She can sing pop. She can sing folk. She's just like the most versatile person I've ever met. But she writes her own music. And I'm a writer. I studied that in college, and it's something I luckily got to really commit a lot of time to while I was on tour. And she called me the next day and was like, "Do you think there's any sort of, like, could we write something about this? Could we write something that is about this, not in so overwhelming a way that it couldn't, still be interesting outside of the context of the virus, but definitely informed by the moment? Could we team up and write something about basically how this moment in our history has placed all these limitations on the ways that we connect with each other, on our relationships with time and with space and with each other, and what would that look like? What could we do?" So we started. I gave it a think, and I think I came up with this idea to do like a tapestry piece, like a sort of like a song quilt, like what we would call it a song cycle in opera or in musical theater, where it's a bunch of different songs belonging to different speakers or characters, but they're sort of linked by a common idea. So we wrote this 8-song cycle called 40 minutes, which is, the length of a Zoom call. If you don't have a pro, that's the length of the call. They'll cut you off after 40 minutes. Exploring like the lives of, a big group of people trying to Zoom with each other. There's a song about a nurse calling home to say goodnight to her family when she's stuck on a really long shift. There's a song about a teacher trying to figure out how to teach, like through distance learning all of a sudden. There's a song about someone living all alone and sort of not knowing like how radically that can change the life of someone who does live by themselves. And so we assembled our friends, basically our super talented friends, and sent them tracks of the music that Kate had written, and I sent them the lyrics, and we sort of talked them the music over the internet, and they made these beautiful videos, and we edited them all together and launched it as a whole piece on YouTube under 40 Minutes Musical, if you want to check it out. As a YouTube playlist, so you can just listen down all the way through all of them. And on Instagram as well, it has an Instagram. I think it's 40 Minutes Musical on Instagram as well. That they play in order as like IGTV videos. And we, as soon as we finished it, we wondered if there was a life for it in a bigger version. So now, currently, we're working on the sort of next generation version of this idea that's more grounded in an actual story. So there are main characters and there is like an arc for these people, but a lot of these songs live in it as well. It actually follows like an aspiring cartoonist, and she draws the things that are scary or confusing to her about the pandemic, and they sort of come to life and sing the songs that we've written. So it's been nice to have a project to work on. It was really cool to have something, because all of the cast members, I believe, were Phantom Tour cast members. So we got to sort of get the band back together, for lack of a better way of putting it, and let everybody do their thing. And, there's been a lot of content put out that during all of this by performers, because we don't really know what to do with ourselves. All of a sudden there's no outlet. And, look at Alice, they have figured it out. Like, they know how to like keep the whole thing going. But we're looking at people who are typically in shows that have already been written. Like, what do we do? And so since the two of us could put our skill set together and come up with something original rather than like just sort of reimagining material that already existed, like that was our main purpose, was if we're going to put something on the internet, let's at least put something that nobody's ever seen. So that's the very long answer for what 40 minutes musical, but that's our little song cycle, our pet project.
Yeah, no, when I saw that, and I haven't watched or listened to all of the songs yet, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is so cool that you guys came up with this idea, like you're saying, with the music and you're doing the lyrics, and yeah, it's all original things. And now that you're talking about, you're kind of working on like a second cycle of it. It almost sounds like something that could, end up on stage at some point down the road.
Yeah, that's the hope. We've written it very intentionally to have a certain amount of performance flexibility, just because we don't know what the industry is going to look like. So the way the idea exists now, it could be produced virtually. Like, it could be a digital musical. It could also be like a safely distanced stage musical if we're still worried about distance whenever theater starts to come back. And it could end up being, a musical in its own right. So we wanted to make sure that it was something that could have a lot of different iterations or versions of, how it could be brought to life.
Yeah, no, that's smart that you didn't have tunnel vision. You had things looking out this way, so there's different layers of different possibilities. Because yeah, like you just said, we don't know what things are going to look like when the things start to kind of come back. So maybe one of these ideas will fit whatever the new normal will be. And
Yeah.
instead of saying putting all your eggs in one basket, we're going to do this way, and then hope that it works. And then if it doesn't, then you're like, well, crap. Now what do we do? So that's awesome. Gosh, these are so I have to tell you this, and maybe I'll edit this out of the YouTube version. But when I've been doing these interviews, that everyone who's been watching these knows that when I was doing the 30-minute ones, especially when I started getting comfortable, I was like, "Where'd the time go?" I was like, "I've got 3 minutes right now. I'm looking at my timer right now." And even when I did the 45-minute ones, I was still running out of time sometimes. Um, so my big thing, I kept saying, well, maybe I have to have you back on, or maybe I have to do a second part, just because I I didn't get to any of the stuff that I wrote down here, other than like two
I,
things.
I would love that. Let's do another one.
Okay, I'll talk with you offline, and we'll try to figure out a schedule and get you back on. But in the next like 3 minutes that we have left, um, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this. You have a connection to the Northwest. I remember you told me in person, but can you tell me again, because I forgot what it was and why you were here or your family was here.
Sure, yeah. Well, my parents, like I said, are performers. They're opera singers, and Seattle Opera, which is just like one of the coolest opera companies in the country, was a real home to us, like a sort of a home company, in that
Mhm.
my parents work there often, and usually they do a big sort of, like a Wagner opera, which is like really heavy German music with a huge orchestra. Picture like like the Helmet with the Horns kind of
Mm.
stuff. And that is sort of what my parents specialize in. And they would do one of those every summer. And so I spent a lot of summers in Seattle. It feels very much like a second home. It was, all my like happy summer memories, if people have them at a summer camp or like at their grandparents' house, like all my happy summer memories are like in Lower Queen Anne. Like that's like just like roaming around with like hanging out with friends and going to the giant fountain under the Space Needle and all that stuff.
Okay, so that makes sense. And yeah, I know they're doing like the ring cycle and some other kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, that was often my dad. Like there was one summer where my dad's face was just like a giant poster on the side of the opera house. We did the ring. I think every summer that they did it, my parents were in that show. So, and I was in it a couple times as like a non-speaking part. But that company and those shows are like very dear to our hearts.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been so fortunate that they allowed me to start reviewing the performances, because I don't have an opera background whatsoever. So it's like a whole new world to me to come and experience that. And just talking about it makes me miss it so much, because
No, miss it too.
I was just starting to get into it. I know that opening nights for the opera were always on Saturdays, and the opening night for the ballet was always on Fridays, and all this kind of stuff. And now it's like we were talking pre-show. What day is it? I don't even
I
know what.
I know.
Thank goodness for calendars.
Right. We got to keep our date books. Got to, even though we've got nowhere to go.
Yeah. Emma, I will talk to you offline. We'll try to figure out another time to have you come on. Thank you so much for taking the time. I hope that you and your family and everyone stay safe down in Louisiana. And we'll talk again sooner than later.
Sounds great. So good to see you again, Mark.
Good seeing you. Okay. Take care and have a good night.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Silent night, all is calm. Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the second edition of our pancake tour. It wouldn't be a proper performance if we didn't start it out with a pancake. So, hi.
No, that was on purpose.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was totally, yes. We did that on purpose. It was an artistic choice.
Yeah, they can hear it, but they're saying that they can barely hear Scott's guitar. Gordon's bass seems quiet. Josh and Steve's appear to be fine.
I love that we're getting live mixing notes. This is great. Okay, so stand by. We're going to bump those levels up. Thank you guys so much for being our fellow audio engineers on this. So we need some more guitars, some more bass, a little more triangle or cowbell. So I guess while we're waiting, so we got this amazing package in the mail from our really sweet dear friend Russ. We love you so much. Thank you so much for this awesome present. Yeah, we don't know what's in it. We don't know what's in the box. So you guys are of the magical present from Russ. Dun, 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 dun. Well, we're doing the great unveiling.
Opening. It's an unboxing. All right, Tasha, reach in there and grab whatever that is.
Ah!
He's
Yay!
There's a letter. We got a letter
Well, hello.
to the members of
Hi,
House.
friend.
That's amazing. Oh, he's wearing a mask.
Oh my God.
He's got a mask.
It's not just a really overgrown mustache.
You guys, we have to name our masked llama. Please feel free to chime in with awesome names. For
I
the
think
masked-
his name is Zorito. He's the masked llama.
Oh, Russ, you're gonna make me cry. We just started.
Where's Russ? Is he here?
I don't know, but he will
What's his
let go.
handle name?
I don't remember.
This is amazing.
Does it make sound?
Let's.
We're gonna have to read the letter later.
We'll read the letter later, but thank you so much. We absolutely love it. We feel the love, and we're super grateful.
Russ, thank you for being awesome. Mama,
And thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight and being so patient and honest. It's awesome to have the feedback. So thank you guys.
I don't know what they're hearing. Yeah, we'll hear what they hear tomorrow.
Shall we move on to the next one, my loves? All right, Mad Hatters, onward ho we go.
Wish I had a way to know
So how are we doing now?
Yeah, how do we sound now, guys? Let's go to the internet.
Now we're cooking. This might be confusing when we talk about eating pancakes. And Captain Blackwood says this isn't just a light reconfiguration, it's a whole new stage, freaking sweet.
Freaking
Thank
sweet!
you. Thank you, Captain Blackwood.
Christmas LA said Alice makes 2020 better llama likes and all.
Oh, we love the llama likes.
Calamari llama.
Many llama loves to you.
That's the llama's name, a calamari.
New cup, move down, move
I
down.
think it may even have a squid on its head.
Does it have a squid?
It has like a cool red hairdo.
Well, it's got kind of like an emo cut.
He does have a little emo haircut. Yeah, the llama's freaking sweet, guys.
It kind of reminds me of the bowl of milk after the Fruity Pebbles have been done.
He has a key on the side. He's wearing a mask. He has an emo haircut. He has a key on the side.
Oh, I love it.
He's so. Oh, my star.
Alright, you guys ready for that?
Yes.
Yep.
Maybe I'm out of country, sick of the walls I see. Maybe I just want one world in the bright blue sea. Maybe I'm tired of fighting invisible enemies, causes that mean nothing while the world cries out for peace. I'm wide awake. I'm wide awake. I'm wide awake. I'm wide awake. Yeah, we missed you guys. Like a lot.
A lot of missing.
Watch your clock tick tick by, and the stars of my mask is slipping. Here we are with the woods run dry, and yet our hands keep on gripping. Can you hear me? Hear me now? All we have is just our words we're whispering. Can you hear me? Hear me now? Simply listening. Don't breathe in this haunted hall. Too many voices. Demons dance and the soul is dipping. Let's get lost in the frequency. Count the seconds one by one. Skip, record skips, skip fast. Repeated smile keeps on slipping. Standing in the find you again and again and again. Can you hear me? Hear me now? All we have is just our words we're whispering. Can you hear me? Hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Were you ever listening?
Can you hear me now?
Were you ever listening?
Can you hear me Tell me what to do, tell me what to say. Why do we hold on if our time's out anyway? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? All we have is just our words we're whispering. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Anybody out there listening? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? All we have is just our words we're whispering. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Anybody out there listening?
Not this one, just like there's, I hear it somewhere else. It's kind of fun. Switch over his drum.
Mark Neri, you're so famous. You're so famous, dude. Like, don't even let anybody tell you otherwise ever. I'll kick him in the shins. You're totes famous. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
He's like
art teacher.
Yeah, he totally is. With the Uncle Jesse hair.
I know the Uncle Jesse hair is a real thing.
There was a time on tour with Mankind is Obsolete when we woke up in the morning and, Mark came out of the room he was staying in and he had a perfect pompadour. Like his flowing lion mane of hair
it was always
was
perfect.
straight up, and
Yeah.
it was like he could have been in a rockabilly band, and then he spent the time to bring it down. I
Oh,
just
let
was
it go.
always
You know
so
what? Let that
envious.
mane fly free.
I think so. Not really, but
Might as well make a waffle. What do you think, Loma? Yeah.
was a journey. That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think it's all a journey because these lights are different, and so it's like
The lights are
it's like
amazing.
I'm in a totally different. It's like whoa.
Yeah, it's so hard to because they're right here. It's so hard to not just play with them.
I know. I totally want a kitty
I
pot.
know. I'm like, where's? But can I touch it? Can I touch it? I'm gonna
I
play
kind of
with
forget
these
that I'm
lights.
playing, and I'm like, oh shoot, we're performing.
Oh,
I'm
right.
just enjoying the light show.
Yeah, right. I know it's so beautiful. I've definitely gotten lost a few times. Been like, right. It's a pretty great bass show. I'm a big fan.
Coming from like back there. Okay. Now you guys ready for the next one, y'all?
Yeah. So this one's a sing along. Guys, sing along with us.
Standing there alone, the ship is waiting, all systems are go. Are you sure? Controller's not convinced, but the computer has the evidence. No need to abort. The countdown starts. Watching in a trance, the crew is certain, nothing left to chance. All is working, trying to relax. Up in the capsule, sipping up a drink. Jokes major time. The count goes on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Living us, drifting, falling, floating, wake us, calling, calling. Second stage is cut. We're now in orbit. Stabilizers up. Running perfect. Spending to collect. Requested data. One bullet effect. When all is done, things major time. Back control. There is a problem. The rocket's full. Not responding. Hello, Major Tom. Are you receiving? Turn the thrusters on. We're standing by. There's no reply. 4, 3, 2, 1. Living us, drifting, falling, floating, wake us, calling, calling. Across the stratosphere, a final message. My wife, my love, and nothing more. Beneath the ship, the world is mourning. Realize he's alive. No one understands. The Major Tom sees like commands. This is my home. I'm coming home. Living us, drifting, falling, floating, wake us, calling home. Living us, drifting, falling, floating, wake us, calling.
So, how many of you guys tuned in for our Under the Hood series?
Me, I did.
I did too.
It was so
I
great.
have to say that I actually have never seen my bandmates in the same way since then, because we get used to just playing all together. So just having each one break things down, I'm like, oh, that's the part where you do that thing.
And
She's
I
so
still-
afraid I'm gonna talk through all the songs while we're playing, all super serious, and I'll be like, "Oh boy, did you hear that? Steve actually broke another stick. I wonder how he's gonna get." Because Guitar Center is only doing delivery. You can't just walk in there. Steve, what are you gonna
They
do?
do curbside now. They've started doing curbside. Oh my stars and garters. I tell you what though, I learned so much on the Under the Hood, and I still have like a gazillion questions. So I've been writing them down in my tour notes to be like, all right, so for the next Gordon's Under the Hood, here are my 17 questions. So
Oh,
oh
down to
my
3
goodness.
sticks.
Oh no! Well, thankfully there's a bunch of them like hidden, like Easter eggs all over this room. And just grab some sticks.
Just take a page from the guy from Def Leppard. You get through it.
Oh, Gord.
What? Never quit. That's the lesson. Never give
quit.
up.
Is that what it is?
Never give up.
Never say die.
Just
Oh,
do it.
more
I
again?
guess that's Nike.
Yeah, I'm good.
Just do it, Nike.
Never give up.
Never
Never
say
give up.
die.
You never give up if you wanna make it. Hey.
And this is why we can't leave Steve's living room. You guys, can you imagine when we actually get to see each other in person?
Oh my
That's gonna be
gosh.
pretty surreal.
We're actually
after
gonna
all
like
this.
explode.
I
you
know.
She's like,
Yeah, let's do it.
ready, llama?
Steve is waving to me from all the way over there, Steve. This is the magic of in-ears. I have Steve's snare turned up really loud in my ears, and so I feel like I'm right there. Hey, Steve, I heard you. That was so crazy. Wow, that's crazy. Super communicate.
Across space and time.
Not really, no. But we can do it anyway. Make a loop.
Locked within, trying just to start the beat within the cavern of my heart. All you need with all of your heart. Lost within, don't know where to stand. So how do I begin? If I fall in, will I go blind? I'm caving into your night. The night is cold, the stars still shine. In my mind, in my mind, in my mind, locked within, longing for the light, hearing ears I can't breathe at night, calling me, the echo of your words. I can't speak, so I cannot be heard. How do I begin? How do I begin? If I fall in, will I go blind? I'm caving into your night. The night is cold, the stars still shine. In my mind, in my mind, in my mind, in my
stay up there.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. You go stand right there.
I'll serenade to the llama.
Serenade to the llama boy. 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 Llama man, llama woman. There's a llama woman. She was a llama woman. He was a llama boy. A llama man. He was a llama, yeah. He was a llama man. After he was a llama, he was a llama boy.
I assure you, my friends, we are 100% sober.
Totally serious musician.
But maybe not Mr. Llama.
Yeah, the llama. I mean, he's looking a little. He's leaning a little bit, you know, just a tiny bit.
Well, so shall we do the thing?
I think that's a good start.
Here, we might as well.
Thing.
Sleepwalking again. The shadows on the walls, the nightmares in my bed, the words that you said running in my head, darkness, shadows in this place. Lost my way, I'm far from grace. Darkness, shadows in this place. Have no power, far from grace. I will never give you the power again to break me. I will never give you the power again to break me. 'Cause the moon swings high, up high in that sky, and I'll be fine. Say goodbye, close your eyes, I'll be flying with the night sky. I'll be flying with the night sky. Waking once again to the feeling of you gone and the emptiness you've left, running in my head, running in my head. Darkness, shadows in this place. Lost my way, I'm far from grace. Darkness, shadows in this place. Have no power, far from grace. I will never give you the power again to break me. I will never give you the power again to break me. 'Cause the moon swings high, up high in the night sky, and I'll be fine. Say goodbye, close your eyes, I'll be flying with the night sky. I'll be flying with the night sky. I will never give you the power again to break me. I will never give you the power again to break me.
You know, the llama has the sweetest eyes. He was just looking lovingly down at me while I was playing, and I was like, nothing can be wrong when you have a sweet llama looking directly at you. Sweet llama face. Sweet llama. Well, we have a couple more for y'all before tea time. And for those of you who are not familiar with tea time, it's a time where we gather post-show and hang out on Zoom, and everyone is welcome. So, you know, come join in the tea and the fun.
The tea and the fun.
And this next one is our slapper song. So please feel free to grab your sticks and do a little slap along. Well, my friends, the time has come.
Time is an agreement.
Time is, yes. Well, first of all, we have a lot of really fun and very special surprises coming up on this particular incarnation of tour. We technically would have been doing a Pacific Northwest tour. This was planned at the beginning of the year. So tonight, we technically would have been in San Francisco, and tomorrow night, we would have been in Portland. So we're actually playing with a series of friends in the next few days that are our friends up in Portland, and sending a lot of love up there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and being so supportive. Thank you for your merch orders. It's really meant a lot to us to experience your love and support. So thank you guys so much for being so supportive. Yes. And for those of you who are new to Alice, allow me to introduce my band family. So over here to my left, Miss Tasha Travis.
Hi, buddies. What am I doing over here? I feel so out of place. Everything sounds so different.
Out of time.
Oh, and right here is next to
the
me
camera.
is Mr. Carl Garcia, the man behind
there he is. There
the man
he
behind the
is.
camera.
Get it.
Got Mr. Scott Landis there on guitar and synth. And Mr. Steve Kafalis on drums and percussion and lights.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we've got Mr. Gordon Bash here on bass, synth, percussion, and sound.
Heckin' yeah.
Hello.
Heckin' yeah. And right here, heading us up on keys and piano and percussion and vocals, it's Tosh Cox, ladies
Hi,
and
buddies.
gentlemen, boys and girls. Woo!
So tomorrow night we're actually going to be playing with our wonderful friends Sandy Leeper and Victor Nova, Mr. DJ Novatron. So we're super excited about that. Hope you guys can tune in. But anywho, this is our last one.
But not our least one.
No, definitely not. Sing along, kids. Sing along at home.
This always reminds me of something out of Far and Away. Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, Far and Away. This is like, I've reached America, I need to find land. Out west, I must go. Get a mule.
Gordon, this isn't Under the Hood.
Must have dreamed 1,000 dreams, followed by a million screams. But I can hear the marching
wherever you guys are in the world, we are sending you a lot of love. And I want to also give a very special thank you to Eclectic Arts, Mark Sugiyama. Such a dear friend, a kindred spirit that has been on this journey with us. And it's been such a wild ride. And even though we are virtually together, it feels like you're right here in the room with us. So thank you for your beautiful presence. We really, really appreciate you. And we really appreciate your wonderful support, our wonderful loved ones. So lots of love and sweet dreams.
See you at the tea time.
Tea time.
Man, wasn't that amazing, Alice? Whoo-wee! Every time I think they can't top themselves, they find a way to do it. Oh, man. And say, we want to really tell all of you out there, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for your support. And you there in the back, don't leave yet. No. There is something that's going to be happening in a few minutes. Right over there at the merch booth, the entire band's coming back out. They'll be signing autographs, taking selfies, talking to you about everything under the sun. And, oh, wait a minute. How does that work when all of this is virtual? Well, I'll tell you how that's going to work in the world of Alice. They have this thing that's called Tea Time with Alice. So you can probably figure out what that means. Go grab your favorite cup of tea. Maybe it's Alice tea. Or your favorite beverage, favorite adult beverage, whatever floats your boat. And come back here. The band can't wait to interact with all of you, answer your questions, and this is going to be the perfect nightcap to your evening. So please grab your drink and come right back here. See you soon.
Wish I'd a way to know the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Hello.
Yeah, actually.
how are you fellas?
Physically, I'm fine.
I am awesome.
Oh my gosh. What is this beautiful contraption I'm seeing?
It is, as I told Sasha last time, it is a failed Cenobite.
Oh,
The
it's so good.
audition went like this. So, lights, huh? What's horrific about lights? Oh, it's supposed to be horrific? Oops.
I'm supposed to be horrific. Also, I hope
I
my
would
audio
say
is coming in
lighting's
okay.
horrific.
Hey, Rose.
But
What's happening?
Long
Long time no see. I feel like it's been ages since we've done tea time.
I
Yes.
know.
Show the llama. Show the llama. What's the tattoo?
Look at that beautiful llama.
Oh, it's the tattoo has a key. I sewed it in based on their the
Oh, okay.
album.
Awesome.
We love him so much.
Russ, you got to watch the replay. They loved it so much when they opened it.
I would love to
They were
watch.
so pleased.
Gordon wrote a llama
Glad.
song.
I was blown back by that llama song. That
Gordon made
Oh.
llama song.
it what did it
this will get
remind me?
put up on YouTube later.
You know what energy I got from that llama song? I got like Dayman Nightman energy. That's what I was feeling from that.
Ooh.
That was how that felt to me, and that's I love that so much.
Yay. So I guess this is a new addition to our set, the llama song.
The llama song. So fun. Michael, what are those beautiful dancers behind you?
Oh, that's from a concert from Halong.
Hailung,
Yeah.
Oh, I love them. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
they're so awesome.
That's so cool.
I saw them live in San Francisco.
Oh, it's so
Beginning of the year before all this shit went down. Before COVID.
Yeah, I was gonna say back when there were places. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the before time. Yes.
For the dark times.
Before the dark times. Before the empire.
Before the Fire Nation attacked.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, and we're all having tea. It's very appropriate.
yes.
All of us are having tea.
When the tyranny of the Cylons. Wait.
This story just gets better and better.
I like this story.
I don't
Yeah.
think the Cylons are until October.
I
Oh
don't know.
no, wait! I thought they were this month.
It feels like they're
No,
right
no.
now.
This month
Shit.
was. Oh shoot! What was this month?
I thought that was Megalodons.
I know
No,
August is the
no,
mosquitoes.
yeah.
No, what?
That's
Dusty,
right. Megalodons
going
don't come
on
out
with-
this summer.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I have to say, Halloween has to get creative now.
Oh yeah.
What's around your neck? What's behind you? I'm so
Still
curious.
gonna be Halloween. Don't worry. What?
No, hopefully.
Oh, you mean Dusty? Dusty's
Yeah,
beautiful
what's-
light? Dusty
Hey,
has
what's-
beautiful light.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
Thanks for hosting
No,
us.
It's
Michael.
from IKEA,
Hosting.
and they
You
don't
like-
make it
you like
anymore.
hosting our
But I
channel.
have like 5 of them,
That is so cool.
and
That's
they're
so
like
cool, I
super
love them.
efficient. So that I unplug it. Watch how long it takes before.
Are you guys eating?
So I unplugged it just now. It's
Oh,
still
really?
like
Oh my gosh.
it takes like seconds. So I can probably run it on batteries.
That's amazing. That's a cool setup.
So I get a little silly with them.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I didn't bring my rave lights. I feel underdressed.
Oh, we need to
Time gadget.
send you a care package.
Still trying to figure out what LEDs I want to get.
I almost
Yeah.
strangled myself with them the other day. I was
No
like,
bad choices.
Do
Who's that
I
connected?
do have an LED mask I can whip out.
Well, how is everybody? It's been forever.
Right. Physically, I'm fine.
Murray.
What up, Mark?
Yeah, there's Mark Nuri. I see his
Here.
face.
I see his mane. So I was
I
like,
I
know.
knew it from like afar.
You guys gave such mad respect to it during the show. I figured I had to.
Yeah. Let it fly free.
Did you tame the bear yet, Mark?
No, they're getting worse. They got under our house a couple weeks ago, and they're still trying to get in there. And it's pretty
Mark
bad.
has neighborhood bears.
Like black. What are they? Black bears or?
Yeah, black bears. So-
Literal bears.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was like a euphemism for something, but then it's like, no, have you tamed the
Well, it
bears
is
that are under your
euphemism.
house? I'm so
In
sorry.
this case, it was not.
You like store your garbage somewhere
It's all part of the experience.
Is it? I don't think bears should be part of anybody's experience.
I feel like
I don't.
Black bears I can handle. Grizzly bears I would stay
I
away.
wouldn't mind if one just came in and chilled the apartment complex for a couple of hours.
Bears are scary. I'm not cool with this.
And they've had just about almost everything else.
I'm in the process of moving, and my room looks like this right now.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, that's how my apartment looked in Christmas when I was setting everything up.
Oh, yay, llama!
Hello.
I got a new TV stand.
A little time to make a few tweaks.
You got a new TV stand? That's rad.
Hey, how you doing? I like your mask.
I mean, I have a whole new room, so I guess.
That's pretty nice.
And the hairdo.
How you doing?
Very fancy hair. I love the llama hair.
Can you guess where the inspiration came for that?
Where did it come from?
I wonder. It was
I will tell you.
definitely Sasha's hair.
The Sasha llama.
So
told
excited.
you this.
So excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go llama face. It was so nice too having the llama on the piano the whole set. It was like having a little extra friend there who was singing along with us and was just extremely nice to pat in the middle of the set. Like we had some pretty legit conversations. I'm really grateful that my microphone can't hear me when I turn around. Totally legit llama conversations. It was great.
Okay, so llama mic for next time.
No llama mic. I don't think we have it.
We could just have one of Steve's mics just casually pointed in that direction.
I don't think we have any ins left. I think all our ins are taken.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger board.
Bigger board. Time for a bigger boat.
Or just get a splitter. Split one of the inputs.
I feel like we probably have like 9 splitters in there.
Metal Moo Llama Duet.
Yeah!
Oh, there you go.
Little muette.
A metal muette.
A muette.
Hey, I like it.
Look out, look out.
The For Dead music video was absolutely awesome.
Hey.
Yay, so glad you liked it.
I think that's gonna look pretty nice.
Oh, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that's gonna look sweet.
Heckin' yeah.
Heckin' yeah, heckin' yeah.
Yeah.
I started
and
using that phrase at work. I think someone's going to get infected with it soon.
Yeah, rub it off on everybody.
It was
Yeah.
pretty crazy because last tour, we actually shot that in the middle of the tour. So it was like we would find like the in between times and somehow managed to do that. So it was sort of it's been kind of a compressed year for us.
Did you guys tease it? Didn't you guys tease us with it during, like, towards the end of the tour, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I feel? Sorry.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say I feel really bad for anyone who like started on music video. I had like maybe 80% of their principal footage on a hit, and they either had to like slap on masks for the remaining 20% of the footage, or like redo everything. Really bad if that happened to anyone, because you know it did. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely. It's like when you're directing a show or you're working on a show and like an actor has 2 or 3 weeks off or something, and when they come back, they have a new tattoo. Like, whose idea was that? Oh my
or they're
God.
pregnant and they have to find creative ways to cover it.
I have
Or incorporate it. Yeah.
made wedding dresses for women who did not tell me they were pregnant. Like when we started doing the fittings, I was like, you're gonna grow. We're gonna. This was a
Yeah.
thing.
Don't try not to. That's not healthy for the kid.
Yeah.
It's what we call relevant information.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
They get in a car accident, and then you have to write in a scene where they get attacked by a wampa to cover that up.
It's the thing. You gotta just
Sorry.
write that in. Just murder hornets.
Murder hornets.
Oh my god! Well, a buddy of mine sent me one to top murder hornets. We thought June was going to have flamethrower squirrels.
What?
Apparently, there's a swarm of locusts that's so large that it shows up on radar.
No.
I want to see picture this.
I
Wowza.
don't have pictures of this, I was told, but
That
I
sounds
believe it.
amazing.
I mean, it's 2020. Crazy year.
Yeah, 2020 bingo is
We're 3 plagues
crazy.
short of Exodus here.
It is producing some good
Yeah,
photo
right?
ops. I'll say that. It's
So we
A swarm of
bitty.
locusts, it's so cliche. Couldn't they
Well,
have
no,
picked?
it's not cliche. It's biblical.
Yeah.
Something refreshingly
Exactly.
biblical about it, though. You know, a plague of locusts or the land. You know, it's nice. You know, in sort of this
It's
cyberpunk
familiar.
dystopia. It's nice to have a little bit of medieval horror to it.
As long as a giant wolf and a giant snake don't show up, we should be good.
Watch out. You're asking for it now. This is not the year to be like, as long as ...
Yeah, let's tempt fate.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Actually,
Hey,
I'm
Tosh.
anti-superstitious.
Hey, guys.
I don't believe in tempting
Gordon!
fate or fate or any of
Here
those
comes
other.
that
Hey, Gordon.
There.
Hey,
Hi.
I
finally made it. I had to delete it and then reinstall Zoom.
Oh
Something
my
was weird.
stars. So
On your
much
You know,
on your
technology.
computer.
it happens.
the
From time
writer
to
of the
time.
llama song.
Yeah.
The
that was
llama
beautiful.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
I
have
nearly
to go
cried.
I have
back.
to
and-
incorporate it into your set now.
I'm gonna have to,
You have to Alice it up
cover it
and
myself because I don't.
flesh
I
it
don't
out.
remember.
Yeah, it was really good. I was just telling them I got very Dayman Cometh vibes, Nightman Cometh, you know, and I love that. It was
Exciting. It's a beautiful, beautiful llama. Honestly, it's so
Oh,
fun. And
so
we
what was
haven't-
that about the name QT something?
The llama name?
Yeah.
Yeah, QT is a really
Burrito?
good name for a llama, or YT. That's a really cute name for a llama too. But also, calamari is a really cute name for a llama. Just saying. I think
I like Pebbles.
Yeah, I said Pebbles.
Pebbles is a great name for a llama.
Because Gordon mentioned Fruity Pebbles. So,
Yeah, I did. It looked like the milk after
Yeah.
the Fruity Pebbles were
Oh
gone.
wait, aren't there
Fruit Loops.
llama pebbles right now? Like, aren't there like llama pebbles out right now? Like fruity llama, like llama O's or something. Like I saw a limited edition llama O's cereal.
It's like the Allgate cereal.
Yeah,
The
it's
one
just-
in the
it's
back.
just sugar with some llamas on the front. But
I'm looking at this right now.
I
In a bag.
rarely go down the cereal aisle at the grocery store.
Oh, I saw it on the internet.
Llama loops.
Yeah, llama loops. There you go.
Nice.
Real?
Oh my.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't go to cereal, but I like the internet.
Nah, the internet sucks.
Well, it depends on-
And the internet likes
It
you.
depends on the corner of the internet you go to.
Yeah.
Like right now, we're on the good side of it, but
Yeah.
if you go that way a bit,
4chan. Stay away from 4chan.
oh,
Oh man.
That is the cesspool.
Yeah, don't go
Someone
on
had to-
4chan.
Nope.
Nobody's allowed. No.
Don't go on any channel. They're all
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, I
toxic
still
mom
have-
behavior.
whoever just said I don't know what that is, just don't. Just
Yeah.
stop. Don't pass go.
Okay.
Don't collect $200. Just stop right there.
Okay.
Exactly.
Just
Go
don't.
directly to jail. Got it.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Don't go to jail. If you go,
Yeah.
you go to jail.
Yeah.
Third
No,
of its users
no.
should do anyway.
Yeah. Maybe something you view on 4chan might send you to jail, but yeah, just don't go.
Yeah, no, I don't. Sorry, I'm not so savvy.
Yeah, definitely don't download it.
Ha!
I was gonna say, Sosh, just keep on editing music videos because I love your edit. I mean,
Oh,
awesome.
you know, it's so fun.
Imagine saying that to someone.
Myself, it's so fun to put one together, like, and then everybody says, "Why don't we try this? Why don't we try that? What's going on over here? Maybe do this." And it's just the best. Like it's so fun. It's just so fun to hear all everybody's ideas and try and like search.
And the little grungy overlays that were in there,
Uh-huh.
that's so awesome. Because
Those were good.
you know my style is
I
more
wanna be
grungy,
Drex.
black, white. So I just love that. Like,
Yay. Oh, I'm so
I hate
glad
when
you-
somebody says to me when I'm personally editing, hey, that needs to be cleaner. That needs to be more looking like magazine. I'm like, that's not me. I like it grungy. I like it raw. So yeah, I love the video.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Real
for
quick,
that.
Sasha,
Yeah.
have you ever sat down in front of, well, I think you said you used Premiere. Have you ever
Uh-huh.
lost track of time? Like you'll sit down at 8 in the morning.
Yep.
You'll think 5 minutes goes by and then it's 10 at night.
Yep. No, the editing, like the time warp is real. It's so real. You sit down and the sun is coming up and you have your tea, and candle, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this for a little while. Then I'm going to have some avocado toast and then it's dinner. and it's amazing. Like it's mind-boggling. The only other thing that does that is drafting for me, like hand drafting. Oh my stars. It's just mind-blowing. Like it's ludicrous.
You reach
That
for that
happened to
second
you?
sip of tea, and a bandmate's like, "Whoa, what are you doing drinking caffeine so late?" And you're
Right?
like, what are you talking about?"
I feel like a lot of stuff is that way though. Like when you get really into something, like time just vanishes.
I've decided to have a little computer home.
Hey, that's a nice little computer home. I felt like time was that way when we were in Joshua Tree. It was like breakfast, and then an hour later, it was dinner and it was dark. I was just shocked. I don't know how that happened.
Well, actually, during the winter out here, the sun is up at around like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, but because of the time shift, I don't know what happens geographically, but by 5:30 p.m., the sun is just gone.
Right?
And then when we leap ahead or whatever, the sun doesn't go down to 8:30, 9 o'clock, and even then, it's still over 100 out here.
Yeah.
But the sun comes up right at 5:30 in the morning. It kind of like Y flips every 5 months or some such.
Wow.
There's no rationally explaining this though. Like I've been spending all my free time writing recently, and I sat down today. I looked at the clock. I'm like, okay, about 7 hours before the Twitch. I want to check out Alice. I did a couple things. I looked up, and the Twitch stream had been going on for an hour.
Right? It just vanishes.
Was it creative writing, Russ?
No, I talk about it little in letter, but I'm basically I'm writing a manual and an accompanying website for a game / tabletop game that I want to publish.
Oh,
Nice.
so cool.
So I'm actually really excited about it. That's why I've been stupidly busy. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, good luck with it, Knight.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Yeah, it's nice to find something that you want to do and you want to create. It's fulfilling.
That's the good side effect of all this. We're all sitting down, we're getting creative, we've all gotten the idea to start doing stuff and we're just rolling with it. I mean, right after I got done doing some stuff, I just had another wave, but I just like said, wait, put it to paper.
Yeah.
Dude, creativity waves are the best. That's you had no idea how much fun it was to break out a sewing kit for the llama. I'm like, oh my god, 6 years, let's go.
Vaguely remember what you're talking about, but not really.
So that llama was custom made by you?
I was gonna say you sewed all those llama parts?
So there's the base, but the mask, the hair, and the key I sewed on.
Okay.
And it's like
So-
they're like
Still pretty good stuff.
and
Thank you.
notices
First.
but it's like they get together and read. Because like they're just like they're concerned with stupid shit all the time.
Yeah.
They're just like
Shallow. Yeah.
Sandra?
Really unique comedy, But
We
that's
can hear your conversation. We just wanted you to know.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We just wanted you to know. I was like, is that on purpose? Was that to? Oh, I don't think that's for us.
Scholar Frantically looking at every face, trying to figure out who was talking.
I know. It's like, wait, who? I know. And I know me. Like, I'll leave my microphone on, and then I'm like, these dang shoes. And everyone's like, no one cares about your shoes, woman. Like, what are you yelling about? So
You should have been in one of my Discords the other day. Someone left their microphone wide open. It was funny as hell.
I care about your shoes.
You care. I care too. I care, Caitlin. They're Docs. They're the most comfortable shoes in Christendom. I love these shoes, but they come off during tea time.
Have you got the rainbow shoes yet?
Not no shoes either.
Oh, the rainbow shoes,
No,
right?
not yet. But
Oh,
my
yeah.
friend who has them said that I could have them in like 3 weeks. So I'm really excited. I don't know if they're
Rainbow
gonna fit or
shoes.
not. Mhm.
I need the context for this. Please explain.
At some point on the last tour, everyone decided that we needed rainbow shoes, and I have a friend who has an extra set of rainbow shoes that she's getting rid of. So I hope they fit.
I love how casually you said that. Like that's a thing to do. You know, let's wake up one morning and I want rainbow shoes. That's
I know,
why
right?
not?
Like, who doesn't actually need
you?
What's wrong with multiple colors?
You look it up and you find yourself some rainbows. I'm in. Count me in.
I mean, I
You
saw
can have
one
a
of my
rainbow
coworkers
shoe
has
day.
rainbow Crocs, so
why? Why would you do that?
I don't know. He just did it because he could.
Go big or go home.
There we go.
But are Crocs really going big? I don't know if they're. I think
if
the
they're
opposite of
rainbow.
going big.
There is a Croc store down the road from me.
I mean, it's.
I think
I know.
I see a fuzzy.
Oh,
I know.
I'll hold
so,
off.
Look at so sleepy.
He's so docile.
Kitty!
Can you hear him? He's
I
purring.
can hear the little motor
Purring
running.
so loud.
My apartment might be fostering 2 kittens soon, so
Oh,
keep you
how fun.
updated on
There you
that.
I
And I
have
won't have to be
tried
jealous of Dusty anymore.
A cat tried to climb its way into my apartment because I don't have an exhaust
He's
fan.
getting
so
old,
I
though.
have to air the place out.
Oh,
I cracked the
I'm
window
so
open,
happy.
and one was like trying to push it further so it could climb in. I'm like,
Yeah.
What?
You're not on the-
Why didn't you invite him in?
he's not on the lease.
He's not on the
That cat does not pay rent.
No, they're
So
they're
he can't even
about that
come
stuff out here.
No, it's what would you do if you like ordered?
No, there's a
food
whole
Uber
process. You
Eats?
need to make sure that they don't have fleas and whatnot. Sorry.
No, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to make sure there's no diseases or anything like that. And even though this apartment complex is very pet friendly, the way they adhere to the regulations out here is strict.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
someone
still
almost
rules.
got evicted a few months ago for it.
Oh no.
Yeah. You got to make sure they have their shots and they're documented and all that. Yeah, I actually check because I often foster my sister's cats when she goes on travel a lot. So she travels and she comes back, she drops off her cats and takes care of business. And I take care of her cats while she's doing business. And then she leaves again and she takes her cats and goes. And so I checked with my apartment complex management to see if I could do that. And they said, no, it's got to be like the cat moves in and you got to pay that $250.
Yeah.
And there's a security deposit plus the cat's rent every month on top of your rent.
Right. Well, that's
Does
not so bad.
anybody
That's only
know-
like $40.
Yeah.
Does anybody know if there is a relay or converter for a guitar to go on the home audio instead of on a PA system?
Ooh.
Or do you
Say that
have
again?
to go through the computer?
I mean, yes, is the short answer. I'm sure there is. It's just a matter of figuring out.
Yeah, it depends on which way you're headed.
Yeah, you need to get like a DAW, DAW input, or you could. I'm thinking a DI.
No, what he mostly
directed-
needs is like a cab simulator, because the difference between playing a guitar through a guitar amp and playing a guitar through a PA is a little more pure, and you want to simulate going through a guitar cab and then put it out through the PA. So that's all you really need is the cab simulator.
Oh, yeah, if you want to do that, I was thinking he wanted just to be able to plug in.
But that's what a converter would do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a direct input box would do it.
Yeah.
Probably have one lying around.
Yeah.
One of those. That means he's gonna need at least stereo input, one LR at least.
Yeah, yeah. You could get a DI box that has, you get a DI box that has 1/4 inch in and RCA's out.
Okay, that makes sense. I know about that.
Yeah, they run about probably about $30-$40. You could probably find them on Amazon.
Okay.
That's where I got the preamp from.
Yeah, yeah. Or you could go if you really wanted to do something crazy. You could go with like a DAW, which is a DAW box, and that will actually act as a preamp. So you could connect a 1/4 inch from the guitar right into that, and then you could actually boost the level and then put it into your stereo. And those run about 150 plus.
There's the stereo or part of it. 215s. There's another part of it down there. And there's the so
You just getting it all put together?
I'm still getting the room under control. Kind of a mess right now. Like that.
There's always a phase.
I've only been here for like 2 days.
Well, you're doing great then.
Yeah, I think a direct input box would do it for you. About $40 on Amazon.
All right, I'll look that up. Because I would like to also I used to have my computer hooked up to my surround sound for DJing and stuff like that. For whenever I was practicing or just having fun with it, I would blare my music in my room. And if you can't tell, even with all this stuff in here, it echoes.
Yeah.
Need sound editing too.
Are you familiar with Audacity?
Huh?
Audacity?
It was BDJ back in the day. Virtual DJ.
So Audacity is free and it's very powerful.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll look that up.
There is a ton of, you name it by Adobe, there is free software out there for it, and it is and depending on what you land, it is extremely powerful.
Is it stream based as well?
Is it
No,
what based?
it's just editing software.
Yeah, it's just audio editing.
Mm-hmm.
I need the one that does both audio and streaming. So I'll probably go back to BDJ, but that's like $100 to $200.
Okay.
Yeah, but at least with the virtual DJ stuff, it's not like an Adobe product where you have an ongoing license. It's a one-time pay with lifetime upgrades, which is not bad. I hate Adobe's model. $20 per month, and we'll give you updates.
Yeah, that was a turn off for me too.
Yeah.
I hate it, but it's one of those necessities.
Yeah.
I miss the days of purchasing a version of Photoshop and Lightroom and
That's why I went for GIMP. I went for that instead. Got a plugin, got a free plugin, and I'm pretty much duplicating Photoshop effects to an extent.
That's cool.
I believe I also just found an alternative to Premiere, probably 2 alternatives, but I have to look into them.
Well, I mean, I sort of understand Final Cut, sort of. And I'm learning DaVinci as well. And there is a free version of DaVinci, which is great.
That's one of the ones that's out there.
Yeah.
DaVinci was brought up to me.
Yeah, it's pretty dang impressive. I just love Premiere. I think it's intuitive.
Have you guys heard of Fruity Loops?
Yeah.
You mean
There
Llama
is-
Loop?
Llama Loop.
FL Studio, as it's called now. There
Uh-huh.
is a free version of that. It was originally written for Linux. It's LMMS. It's
Uh-huh.
just as powerful if set up properly. If not set
Ah.
up properly, it's crashy and buggy.
Yeah.
I used to play around with that whenever I was making my own tunes and stuff like that, or making like fades into other songs and stuff like that.
You know, it might be designed for ease of use and fairly simple overall, but if you know how to use it, GarageBand can actually.
Yep.
It just has really good structure to it. I mean, wait, what album was written on? It was Grimes' first big album was written on GarageBand.
Who?
Grimes. Yeah, what's the name of that album? Hold on. Yes, her album Visions. She wrote that entirely on GarageBand. So yeah, it's fun seeing how different people use different mediums to create.
I remember taking a MIDI file from a video game from the 90s and mixed it through LMMS, and I did it pure orchestral. If there was an electric instrument for it, I would get very close. Like I substituted a lead guitar flat out for a viola, and the tone of the song just changed. I'm very proud of that mixed, but I'm not happy about the hard drive that it died on.
Ah, shaky fist.
Don't you hate losing old stuff like that?
Too many times.
Uh-oh. We
Yeah, hence my movie box
that's
server
not to-
now.
well on there.
It's so weird having to stand all the time right now. Because I think the gaming chair got messed up in the rain.
One good thing about quarantine is that we have time to sort of explore these new mediums.
I don't know.
I've might have to dive into certain editing or typesetting software. So
It's funny, Cecil lagged out so much it looked like she was staying still for a minute.
Oh, I was kind of still for a minute because I was so confused about what was happening, which is so rare. Still is really not my.
Did you get caught in another time warp?
I know. I was just editing. I just edited a whole music video. What happened, guys? No, I was just saying that the tea time timer has gone off a couple of times, so I just wanted to let y'all know and say thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yes, cheers. Nice seeing you all. I'm glad the second leg started. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Good to see you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Good night. Lots of love. Bye.
So much loves.
Good night.
Bye.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
Well.
Peace. Everybody's still here, but everybody's quiet now.